Your 2012 Ford Focus just died on the highway. The transmission gave out at 65,000 miles. The repair estimate, $4,200. Here's the kicker. That American-made car has a transmission built in China using the cheapest components Ford could source. You bought American thinking you'd get American quality. But here's what they don't tell you. A car only needs 50% domestic content to slap Made in USA on the marketing. The other 50% can come from wherever saves the most money, and that's exactly what's happening. I'm going to show you which popular American brands are stuffing their cars with foreign parts that fail fast and cost you thousands. The repair bills from these cheap overseas components will shock you. Ford's PowerShift transmission disaster proves how foreign sourcing destroys reliability. The Focus and Fiesta use this dual clutch transmission with critical components manufactured in China. The clutch packs, control modules, and hydraulic systems came from the lowest bidder overseas. The result? Catastrophic failures starting around 40,000 miles. Owners reported harsh shifting, complete transmission lockup, and cars rolling backward on hills. Repair cost averaged $4,200 because you're not just replacing worn parts, you're replacing an entire foreign engineered system that was never built to last. But Ford's foreign component problems go deeper. Their EcoBoost engines use timing chain components manufactured in Turkey. These chains stretch prematurely because the metallurgy doesn't meet the standards you'd expect from American manufacturing. When that timing chain fails, you're looking at $3,500 in engine damage. The Sync infotainment system sources its main processing unit from Malaysia. These units fail within 3 years due to capacitor problems and poor soldering. Replacement cost, $2,200 installed. Ford chose this supplier because it saved them $40 per car during manufacturing. That $40 savings becomes your $2,200 repair bill. Even the mighty F-150 isn't immune. Ford uses Mexican manufactured wiring harnesses throughout the truck. These harnesses use cheaper copper alloys that corrode faster in American climate conditions. The corrosion causes electrical gremlins, intermittent starting problems, gauge cluster failures, and trailer light malfunctions. I've seen F-150 owners spend $1,800 replacing corroded wiring harnesses at 80,000 miles. The Mexican facility saved Ford money during production, but the inferior materials create expensive problems for you. The pattern is clear across Ford's lineup. They source critical components from overseas suppliers who bid lowest, not best. The PowerShift transmission could have been built in America with better materials for $200 more per car. Instead, Ford pocketed that savings and passed the reliability problems to you. Here's the real cost breakdown. A PowerShift transmission failure averages $4,200. EcoBoost timing chain problems cost $3,500. Sync system replacement runs $2,200. F-150 wiring harness issues average $1,800. That's $11,700 in potential foreign component failures on vehicles marketed as American-made. The damage spreads fast once these foreign components start failing. And the PowerShift transmission doesn't just stop working, it damages the flywheel, clutch, and sometimes the engine itself when it fails catastrophically. The Turkish timing chains don't just stretch, they jump timing and bend valves, turning a $500 chain replacement into a $3,500 engine rebuild. Ford's warranty coverage on these foreign component failures is deliberately limited. They'll cover the initial failure under warranty, but not the secondary damage these cheap parts cause. When that Chinese transmission destroys your flywheel, you pay for the flywheel replacement even if the transmission failure was covered. The Malaysian Sync units fail just outside the standard warranty period. If Ford designed this timeline deliberately, the cheap capacitors last exactly long enough to avoid warranty claims, then fail when you're paying out of pocket. General Motors took foreign sourcing to dangerous extremes with their small car lineup. The Chevy Cruze and Sonic engines were manufactured entirely in South Korea by Daewoo, a company with a track record of cutting corners on internal components. These Korean-built engines burn oil like crazy, starting around 50,000 miles. The piston rings use cheaper steel alloys that don't seal properly under American driving conditions. GM knew about this defect, but kept using the same supplier because it saved them $300 per engine during manufacturing. The oil consumption gets so bad that owners burn through a quart every 1,000 miles. When you don't catch it in time, the engine seizes completely. Engine replacement cost, $6,800 installed. GM's response was to quietly extend the powertrain warranty, but only after thousands of owners got stuck with massive repair bills. Cadillac's CUE infotainment system represents another foreign sourcing disaster. GM chose a Chinese manufacturer for the touchscreen assemblies to save money on their luxury brand. These screens use cheap LCD panels that delaminate within 3 years of ownership. The delamination creates dead zones where touch inputs don't register. You can't control climate, navigation, or audio functions. The entire CUE system requires replacement because GM designed it as one integrated unit. Cost to replace, $3,400 installed. That's luxury car money for Chinese quality components. The Buick Encore transmission problems trace back to GM's partnership with a South Korean supplier. This 6-speed automatic transmission uses hydraulic components that can't handle the heat cycles in American stop-and-go traffic. The valve body warps, creating harsh shifts and complete transmission failure. Encore owners report transmission shuddering starting around 40,000 miles. The problem progressively worsens until the transmission won't engage any gear. Replacement cost averages $4,200. GM could have used their proven American-built transmission for $150 more per car, but chose the Korean option for cost savings. OnStar modules manufactured in Mexico create security vulnerabilities that put your personal data at risk. These modules use cheaper processors and communication chips that hackers can exploit, and the Mexican facility doesn't follow the same cybersecurity protocols as American manufacturing plants. The security flaws allow unauthorized access to your vehicle systems and personal information stored in the OnStar database. When GM issues security updates, the Mexican-made modules often can't handle the new software, requiring complete replacement at $800 per vehicle. Here's how GM's cost-cutting creates warranty nightmares for dealers. The Korean engines fail just outside the standard warranty period, leaving dealers to explain why a 3-year-old car needs a $6,800 engine. The Chinese CUE screens fail right after the electronics warranty expires, forcing dealers to quote $3,400 repairs on luxury vehicles. Dealers report spending hours on warranty calls with GM corporate, trying to get coverage for these foreign component failures. GM's response is always the same: deny coverage and blame normal wear patterns. The timing isn't coincidental. GM engineered these foreign components to fail just outside warranty coverage, leaving dealers to deliver bad news to customers who trusted the brand. Chrysler's foreign sourcing disasters make Ford and GM look conservative. The ZF 9-speed transmission from Germany sounds premium, but it's actually a cost-cutting nightmare that destroys the driving experience in the Cherokee, Pacifica, and 200. This German transmission can't handle American driving patterns. The software calibration was designed for European traffic conditions, smooth highways, and gradual acceleration. But American stop-and-go traffic confuses the transmission's logic, creating harsh shifts and gear hunting that never stops, and the 9-speed hunts constantly between gears, unable to decide which ratio to use. You'll feel it searching through 4th, 5th, and 6th gear during normal acceleration. The harsh downshifts jerk the entire vehicle when you slow for traffic. Chrysler chose this transmission because ZF offered it $200 cheaper per unit than proven American alternatives. The repair costs are brutal when this German transmission fails. The entire valve body requires replacement at 60,000 miles, costing $2,800. But that's just the beginning. The harsh shifting damages the torque converter, adding another $1,200 to your bill. Total transmission overhaul averages $4,000. Jeep's CVT transmission disasters in the Compass and Patriot prove that Japanese engineering isn't automatically better. Chrysler sourced these continuously variable transmissions from Jacko in Japan, choosing the cheapest CVT variant available. These Japanese CVT units use thinner steel belts to reduce manufacturing costs. The belts stretch under load, creating the whining noise Compass owners complain about. When the belt finally snaps, usually before 60,000 miles, the entire transmission is destroyed internally. CVT replacement in a Compass costs $3,800 because you can't rebuild these units. They're designed as throwaway components. The Japanese supplier saved $80 per transmission during manufacturing by using cheaper belt materials. You pay $3,800 when that cost-cutting fails. Ram 1500 air suspension systems represent Chrysler's most expensive foreign sourcing mistake. The air compressors come from China and fail at a 50% rate within 5 years. These Chinese compressors use inferior seals that can't handle moisture in American climates. When the compressor fails, your Ram drops to the bump stops overnight. You can't drive it safely until the entire air suspension system gets replaced. Chinese compressor costs $400, but labor and related components push the total repair to $2,200. And the failure rate is so high that Ram dealers stock these Chinese compressors like oil filters. They know every Ram with air suspension will need this repair. Chrysler could have used American-made compressors for $150 more per truck, but chose Chinese suppliers for maximum profit margins. Dodge Journey Electrical Systems from Mexico create actual fire hazards that triggered multiple recalls. The Mexican facility uses substandard wire insulation that degrades faster in heat. When the insulation fails, bare wires contact metal components, creating sparks and potential fires. The recalls covered specific wire harnesses, but the underlying problem affects the entire electrical system. Journey owners report random electrical failures, power windows, door locks, and dashboard lights failing intermittently, complete electrical system diagnosis, and repair averages $1,800. Here's the pattern across Chrysler's lineup, where they consistently choose the lowest bid foreign supplier over proven alternatives. If the German ZF transmission was $200 cheaper than American options, the Japanese CVT saved $80 per unit. The Chinese air compressors cost $150 less than domestic suppliers. But these savings disappear when you factor in reliability problems. The $200 transmission savings becomes a $4,000 repair. The $80 CVT savings turns into $3,800 replacement costs. The $150 compressor savings creates $2,200 repair bills. Chrysler's foreign sourcing strategy prioritizes short-term profits over long-term reliability. They pocket the manufacturing savings while you pay the repair costs when these cheap foreign components inevitably fail. Tesla markets itself as American innovation at its finest, but their revolutionary vehicles depend heavily on foreign components that create expensive repair nightmares. The Model S and X door handles manufactured in Germany represent Tesla's most embarrassing foreign sourcing failure. These German-made door handles retract flush with the car bodies for aerodynamics, but the German supplier used materials that contract differently than the door frame in cold weather. When temperatures drop below 32 degrees, the handles freeze in the retracted position. You can't get into your $80,000 Tesla because the German door handles won't extend. The problem affects thousands of Model S and X vehicles in northern climates. Tesla's solution: replace all 4 door handle assemblies at $1,200 per handle. That's $4,800 to fix a problem caused by choosing German suppliers over American alternatives. The Chinese CATL batteries in newer Model 3 vehicles show rapid degradation compared to the Japanese Panasonic batteries Tesla used initially. CATL won Tesla's battery contract by underbidding Panasonic by 15% per kilowatt hour. But that cost savings creates expensive problems for owners. CATL batteries lose capacity faster in hot climates due to inferior thermal management chemistry. Model 3H in Arizona and Texas report 20% capacity loss within 2 years compared to 8% loss with Panasonic batteries. When your range drops from 300 miles to 240 miles, the car becomes impractical for long trips. Battery replacement costs $16,000 because Tesla designed the pack as one integrated unit. You can't replace individual cells. The entire battery pack requires replacement when capacity drops below acceptable levels. And the Chinese batteries save Tesla $2,000 per car during manufacturing, but cost you $16,000 when they fail prematurely. Tesla's autopilot cameras from South Korea develop moisture intrusion problems that disable the entire self-driving system. The Korean supplier uses cheaper lens seals that fail in humid conditions. Moisture gets inside the camera housing, fogging the lens and creating false readings. When autopilot cameras fail, the entire system shuts down for safety. Your $10,000 full self-driving package becomes worthless until all cameras get replaced. The repair involves removing interior panels and recalibrating the entire system. Total cost averages $3,200 for what should be a simple camera replacement. The charging port assemblies from Taiwan cause $1,500 repair bills when they fail. These Taiwanese ports use cheaper internal contacts that corrode from repeated charging cycles. The corrosion creates resistance that generates heat, eventually melting the internal components. When the charging port fails, you can't charge your Tesla at home or public stations. The entire port assembly requires replacement because Tesla integrated the electronics into the mechanical components. The Taiwanese supplier saved Tesla $50 per port during manufacturing, but replacement costs $1,500 installed. Here's what Tesla doesn't advertise. Their American electric vehicles contain more foreign content than traditional automakers use. The German door handles, Chinese batteries, Korean cameras, and Taiwanese charging ports represent critical systems that determine whether your Tesla functions as intended. The foreign component failures cascade through Tesla's integrated systems. When the Korean cameras fail, the Chinese battery management system can't optimize charging patterns. When the Taiwanese charging port corrodes, it damages the German-made charging control module. And these interconnected failures turn single component problems into system-wide disasters. Tesla's warranty coverage deliberately excludes many foreign component failures. The German door handles fail just outside the mechanical warranty period. The Chinese batteries degrade gradually, falling below warranty thresholds through normal use rather than catastrophic failure. The Korean cameras develop moisture problems that Tesla classifies as environmental damage, not manufacturing defects. The math on foreign component failures reveals the true cost of American cars stuffed with overseas parts. Ford's PowerShift transmission averages $4,200 to replace. GM's Korean engines cost $6,800 when they cease from oil consumption. Chrysler's German 9-speed transmission runs $4,000 to overhaul. Tesla's Chinese batteries require $16,000 for replacement. These aren't isolated incidents. They're predictable patterns that emerge when manufacturers choose foreign suppliers based on lowest price rather than proven quality. The foreign components consistently fail earlier and cost more to repair than domestic alternatives would have. Compare these costs to vehicles that prioritize American-made components. Toyota's Camry engines built in Kentucky average 200,000 miles before major repairs. Honda's Ohio-manufactured transmissions routinely exceed 150,000 miles. These Japanese companies learned that American manufacturing quality actually reduces long-term warranty costs. But American manufacturers took the opposite approach. They assumed foreign suppliers could deliver the same quality at lower prices. The reality proves otherwise. Cheap foreign components create expensive American repair bills that destroy customer loyalty and resale values. And the warranty loopholes manufacturers use to avoid covering foreign component failures follow predictable patterns. They classify gradual failures as normal wear rather than defects. Oil consumption in GM's Korean engines gets labeled as within acceptable limits until the engine seizes completely. Tesla's Chinese battery degradation falls under normal capacity loss until range becomes unusable. And manufacturers also exploit the interconnected nature of modern vehicles to deny warranty coverage. When Ford's Chinese transmission damages the flywheel during failure, they cover the transmission but not the flywheel. When Chrysler's German transmission harsh shifting damages the torque converter, they replace the transmission but charge you for converter repairs. And the timing of these failures isn't coincidental. You need foreign suppliers engineer components to survive the warranty period, then fail when you're paying out of pocket. The Malaysian sync systems last exactly 37 months, just past Ford's electronics warranty. The Chinese CU screens delaminate at 38 months, 1 month after Cadillac's coverage expires. Here's how to identify which American cars actually use quality domestic suppliers. Check the vehicle's window sticker for domestic content percentages above 75%. Research which specific components come from American suppliers versus overseas sources. Avoid models with major recalls related to foreign component failures. The brands that still prioritize American-made components for critical systems show measurably better reliability. Ford's trucks built in Dearborn using American suppliers have half the warranty claims of their cars built with foreign components. GM's Corvette, manufactured in Bowling Green with domestic parts, maintains resale values that their foreign source sedans can't match. Lincoln and Cadillac represent opposite approaches to luxury manufacturing. Lincoln sources critical components from American suppliers and shows improving reliability ratings. Cadillac relies heavily on foreign suppliers and continues struggling with quality perception despite premium pricing. The financial impact extends beyond repair costs. Vehicles with known foreign component problems lose resale value faster than reliable domestic alternatives. 3-year-old Focus with PowerShift transmission problems sells for $3,000 less than comparable vehicles without known defects. The foreign component savings during manufacturing become permanent value destruction for owners. Why paying more upfront for true domestic content saves thousands long-term becomes clear when you calculate total ownership costs. A vehicle with 80% domestic content might cost $2,000 more initially, but avoids $8,000 in foreign component failure repairs over 5 years of ownership. The insurance implications of foreign component failures add hidden costs most buyers never consider. Vehicles with known defect patterns face higher comprehensive coverage rates. Insurance companies track which foreign components fail frequently and adjust premiums accordingly. Here's the pattern that emerges across all manufacturers. Foreign sourcing for cost reduction creates predictable reliability problems that cost owners far more than the original manufacturing savings. The $200 transmission savings becomes $4,000 in repairs. The $150 compressor savings turns into $2,200 in replacement costs. The pattern is clear across every American brand. Cheap foreign parts create expensive American repair bills. Ford's Chinese transmissions, GM's Korean engines, Chrysler's German gearboxes, and Tesla's overseas components all follow the same playbook. Save money during manufacturing, then stick you with massive repair costs when these foreign components inevitably fail. Your next car purchase should prioritize component origin over marketing claims. That Made in USA badge means nothing when 50% of critical parts come from the lowest overseas bidder. Check domestic content percentages, research supplier origins, and avoid models with known foreign component disasters. Subscribe for more automotive industry secrets they don't want you knowing.